In this episode, we interview Kelly and Tony Corey, founders of Operation Birthday. Operation Birthday's mission is to ensure each child feels special on their birthday by providing parents in need with birthday items they are not able to afford. All right, so thanks everyone for tuning into this episode. Today we have Kelly Corey, who is the co-founder of Operation Birthday. Kelly, thank you so much for your time today.
Awesome. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. So per usual, we like to start by hearing just a high-level mission statement. So what is Operation Birthday?
So Operation Birthday is a 501c3 nonprofit, and we're founded on the principle that all children deserve a birthday celebration. And so our mission is to ensure every child feels special on their birthday by providing parents in need with the birthday items they might not be able to afford.
All right. Boom. Done. And we're going to get into what that means and how it's realized. But first, I'd love to hear about you. What was the inspiration behind you being the co-founder and co-founding this organization?
So my husband and I have always kind of given back. At Christmases, we would typically sponsor a family for Christmas versus doing Christmas presents for ourselves. And so we kind of tried to pass that along. So my niece she is an only child. And with that, she's extremely spoiled. And like I said, we love her to death. But with all the grandparents and everything, it just, birthdays were a lot. And so instead, my tradition that I started with her on her birthday was that we would go grocery shopping, and then we'd go to the food bank and kind of donate those birthday items. So cupcakes, cake mix, candles. And we basically just wanted to teach her that on her birthday, she should think of other people. Because everyone else was showering her with so much. And so it was just a tradition that we started. And when my husband and I kind of talked about it, there wasn't something out there that kind of did the same thing on the scale that we've seen. I found it maybe in smaller scales in different states and things like that. But we just wanted to kind of have that impact on a bigger scale. And we really like the concept. Like birthdays are like the one day that's about you. It's the day that you should feel special.
Yeah.
And we just think it's like really important for especially younger kids, right? Just to have that day and to feel special.
Yeah. Yeah. So how old is your niece now? Like when was like the inception of that idea?
She is now 7,
Yep.
Turning 8 soon. But we started this probably when she was about 3,
Gotcha.
Because she had to understand, right? So at about the age of 3 was when I would go and visit her for her birthday, and then we would go grocery shopping, and she could just barely kind of explain to them what it was.
Yeah.
But, she'd carry the bags in and we'd let her pick out the frosting, which she thought was cool to get, the hot pink or the crazy candles. And then basically ever since then, every year was a little easier because she could just talk more and she could explain it. And then when she was about 5, I think is when we launched Operation Birthday. So we don't really do the food bank tradition anymore. We kind of moved into Operation Birthday, but totally. I like to think that it's just as cool.
Yeah. I have go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say we have a 1.5-year-old, and I feel like if we were to take her, she's in like full toddler mode. If we were to take her to go shopping and give those away, she'd be very unhappy. She'd be like, "I picked these out; these are mine."
Well, I think that was the fun part too, is giving I'm practical. I'm like, I really would like to get the chocolate frosting and the chocolate cake and the vanilla.
Yeah.
And she wanted the straw, like the crazy flavors that I'd just be like, I was like, okay, yes, this is for you to pick out. So kind of just letting her do that. But so the other co-founder is my husband. So he's actually here now. I don't know if we can just add a guest.
Oh, totally. What's up? How's it going?
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Sorry, we had to finish the day job up.
No, I hear you. I'm on paternity leave now, so I have a little bit more flexible time. As crazy as that sounds, having a newborn, but thank you for joining. Introduce yourself as well. That would be great.
No, thank you for having us, Joe. I really appreciate it. Tony Corey, Kelly's husband, and the background about me is, we have our day jobs. I work in the healthcare space and biotech, and actually we do a lot of patient advocacy and patient focused work along with, our regular work, which is around building facilities. And then we do a lot of philanthropy and give back personally, as Kelly highlighted. And then, about 2 years ago, the mastermind, it's her brainchild. She wanted to take it to the next level and make the Operation Birthday cause, more impactful across, the U.S. And so that's kind of how we started rocking and rolling.
All right. Well, this is perfect timing. Let's get into it. So over the past 2 years, what was like the start of Operation Birthday? Was it a focus on maybe a one kid or a handful of kids? I'd love to hear the progression over the past couple of years and the evolution of it.
Yeah, so we started in August of 2021. So we're quickly approaching year two. And I'd say at this point, we've actually helped, we're quickly approaching almost 300 kids. But the
Jeez.
start was a little slower. I will say the start, because we started a little slower, it allowed us to adjust. I feel like that's all we're constantly doing is tweaking it and changing it. So we had the idea, we implemented it, and it was slower. We'd only get like 1 or 2 requests a month, and it was a lot easier to see what was working, what wasn't. But when we launched, I basically had everything set up in my mind. So
Yeah.
we had the program, we had, all the steps, we had everything ready. It was just that once you actually start doing it, you realize that there's things that you need. Like we didn't have a submission window.
Yeah.
And now we have a submission window because you realize that getting a request 6 months in advance isn't really going to, align with what the kid wants at that point. And we don't know if we'll have funding in 6 months.
Yeah.
And so little tweaks like that we made, but I'd say we're still foundationally the same. It was just things to make the process, I think, a little smoother, hopefully, on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you have it open up to anyone who submits for it, or is there a specific target audience or community or demographic, anything specific that you're working with?
So we do have a few submission requirements. Currently, you have to be in the US. You have to be in the USA, but that does exclude Puerto Rico, Alaska, and Hawaii. And the kid does have to be under 12. That was kind of our starting point. We would love to open that up. It's just extremely hard because we don't do gift cards. We do actual presents. And so just for a few reasons, we just decided we'd start there and then we could reevaluate that later. And then the last one is just that we ask that it's submitted by the parent or the guardian, like their legal guardian. We're not at this time, accepting like aunts and uncles. As awesome as that is, it's more just the legal guardian has to submit. And then the submission window is 3 months before the child's birthday.
Got it.
Then that way we have enough time to.
Right. And the other item, Joe, was when starting the nonprofit, we had a commitment to make sure that all the costs of the nonprofit, its operations, its overhead would not impact the donations provided to the children. So Kelly was like, hey, I work full time, so I will have another full time job in my evenings and weekends, and make sure that, that all that time and effort is donated, and we jointly sponsor all the costs of the business so that any donation goes 100% to the kids.
Yep.
And so the result of that is that my house is filled with cupcakes and sprinkles and presents and toys.
That's not a bad exchange.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
I think we don't have a guest room anymore. I'm trying to reel it in a little bit.
It'd be a great dig if I could eat the cupcakes.
Oh yeah.
I get my hand slapped. You see? Not easy.
Yeah.
So we do it all out of here. We make sure that we just limit any overhead costs and make sure we can maximize the value to the kids. And then the other thing that Kelly had in her business plan that she wrote in the beginning was she would go to every Target or Walmart or whatever, scavenge, search every clearance item and make sure that the dollar went as far as possible.
Yep.
And made the most personalized birthday kit with the most presents for that budget. So I'm very proud that she's achieved that, and now it's grown, and she continues to achieve that. And every day, evening, and weekend, I find more and more clearance, strategically purchased items filled in.
Hey, this is recorded, so if he ever complains, I get to pull this back up and say, remember?
Yep.
I'm happy I can sleep in the house right now. I don't know if she'll let me stay here much longer.
Yeah. She's going to start putting some of those, the items on your side of the bed, it seems, sometime soon. Awesome.
Do you have any room in your house, Joe? Do you have a spare bedroom?
We just moved to the burbs, so we have too much room. It might be logistically tough, though, being in Chicago. Oh, awesome. Well, great. So what is the experience like if I were one of the kids under 12, 3 months out, that somebody, a legal guardian parent, submitted for me? What would you be providing for that kid?
So the start of the process is that they refer the child, and then we review a set criteria. We kind of have like a process we go through, a review process. And if they're accepted, we send a follow-up. And that follow-up has a submission form. And so what we actually pride ourselves on the most is that our kits are completely customized to each kid. So it's almost as if the parents get to go out and shop for that kid. And I think that just keeps their dignity intact while also making sure the child feels as special as possible, because these are literally the exact items that their parents would have wanted them to have. So on that form, I mean, they can go down to say, I want, strawberry frosting with chocolate cake mix, purple candles, orange sprinkles. They literally get to detail that all out. We also,
themes.
Yeah, we also don't require every item because we don't want to waste things. So I've had it where, someone doesn't want the sprinkles or they don't need a gift bag, those are all optional. And so we do ask them to let us know, do you need it? Do you not need it? And so we would include it if they did. We also include a cake pan and a cupcake pan or none at all. And they are foil pans, but we just want to make sure that if we're giving them cake mix and things like that, that they actually have the ability to make, those cakes or cupcakes at home. And then lastly, it's there's two more parts. The theme part, which is what he's talking about. So we do a large plate, a small plate, a large napkin, tablecloth, happy birthday banner. And so that is themed. And if they select that, they can tell us their theme. We try to meet that as much as possible. I've had a few crazy submissions that I just couldn't do. They were cool ideas, but they just didn't exist. But mostly if a kid's really into Paw Patrol or Baby Shark or Fortnite, we are able to provide that themed kind of like little party kit.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we do a few presents. So we do have a max spend on the presents. So it's more about just meeting that spend. It might be one gift or it might be 3 or 5. It just depends on that. But they also are able to not only describe what the present would be, but I even tell them, if you have links to it, let me see exactly what you imagined your kid receiving.
Yeah.
And then I always say we put so much love into it that I even include batteries. So if there's a toy that requires batteries, I buy them in bulk, but I will tape the correct batteries to the toy, just because we just want to make sure that, like I said, these kits are going out and they're just perfect to exactly what the parent would want. And then the last step is that it actually looks like it's coming from the parents. We do ship it out in reused boxes. So that's also good for the environment and saves costs on our side. So our garage is actually full of boxes.
The garage is full, Joe. The house is full and the garage is full.
All those Amazon boxes of items you bought, you reuse them. Totally. Yeah.
So we reuse the boxes. And so the box will ship out and I put a sticker on it. That's my solution, is I put an Operation Birthday sticker on the label. But the parents, it's up to them. If they open it, ideally we would love it for it to just come from the parents. That's kind of the whole goal of this, is to have them also feel good about the kid's birthday. If they want to say it's from Operation Birthday, we're completely fine with that. But we go into it with the assumption that it's for the parents to then provide to their kid.
To decide. It's not, the goal isn't to have them document everything and then send it to you and make that a requirement of the whole process, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
And the only other neat thing is when we get these, really cool submissions, like the little girl that had such a dichotomy of mix of she loves sports, but she also wanted Barbie and Rambo. And
she wanted a Batman themed birthday, but then she wanted baby dolls.
No
and that's
way.
what we're saying with the customization. We don't just say okay, you're a 5-year-old girl, so you get this, right? It's literally they get to tell us exactly.
Favorite color, favorite flavor, all the things. Yep. Wow. Do you have any recent or memorable ones over the past couple of years that stick out to you, or that you tell people when they ask about, giving an example of maybe a kiddo's experience?
So I feel like they're all memorable.
I know.
It's so funny. I can't remember. I'm
300 though. You can't remember all 300. I feel like.
All of them, but, I do think. I think there's two different things that I find that just blow my mind away and in a great way, is when it's the stories. So they'll kind of tell us why they need the help, and a lot of times it's just really sad. It's from medical stuff, and you hear those stories. And so just to know that we're helping out there just gives you that extra good feeling. And then on the opposite spectrum, when I get kit requests that are full themed, I totally geek out over it. I'm so excited when the gift bag even matches the plates, even matches the toy. For some reason, those are always the pictures I send to my board, the board of directors saying guys, look at how cool this is. This kit was completely just decked out in this theme. But
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, the stories behind it, like, I think that really resonates. And one that always comes to my mind is, we forget how many, in this world we get, dealt a set of cards, and like some things are out of our control. As a matter of fact, a lot of things are out of our control. And, seeing families that, they have a child born and they have some kind of, disease that requires extra special medical care. They have to drive 4 or 5 hours each way. Medical insurance only covers a certain amount.
Yeah.
And then like the sister is asking for a birthday kit because they can't afford it. And then in addition, one of the presents she's asking for is for her brother on her birthday. And you just wake up and you really get that perspective. You realize how lucky we all are. And, sometimes these circumstances are uncontrollable. Or, another, kid that comes to mind is, the children whose parents unexpectedly, were taken from this world with a catastrophic event, and grandparents are now trying to be the parents, and that type of burden while taking care of their health at a certain age. I mean, just sometimes like throws you curveballs and you need help. And or the husband that had the wife that unexpectedly had was taken from this world, and now he's trying to work, take care of the kids, and he's got 2 jobs. And those items come to mind, and you realize these are not people that are just looking for a hand-me-out. They are in a really tough spot. They're just trying to find a way to, celebrate their child's birthday.
I will say the other thing, Tony and I have a joke about this, but the other thing that I think always really humbles me is when the gifts that they ask for are shoes or clothes or toddler silverware or sippy cups, or I had like bedding. We get a lot of requests sometimes because, theme bedding, that'll make a kid really happy, but it's just, that's where it also, like school supplies was one. Like they were like, she just really, wants, some cooler school supplies or whatever it is. And so it's just those requests too that kind of take you back a little bit to realize
that's their birthday present. They're asking for
absolutely.
Some folks look at that as an expectation or a standard versus a special, moment to, ask for something. So it definitely, it's pretty meaningful. And there's a lot of those stories that resonate. Yeah, for sure.
Wow. Those are amazing stories. And y'all are just getting started. So this has not even been 2 years. So that's a good transition to what do you want to see 2 years from now? What do you hope Operation Birthday looks like then? Just continue scaling?
Yeah. So we talk about this all the time because it's one of those things that you don't know, right? Like it could be that it takes, we scale very slowly for 3 years, or it just like blow up. And honestly, I always say it's not even our resources, because we volunteer and we do this all in our spare time, but it's also funding, right? Like that's the other thing that sometimes worries me a little bit is, we can only help so many kids as much as our funding. Like it's not even limited with me. Funding, I think, is the biggest limiter on most nonprofits probably, or the driving factor. So I think all those factors play a role. Ideally, I expect us to continue to grow. That's pretty much what we see, is that once a kit is delivered, I do think they'll tell their friends and other people will find out, and we will see some more submissions come through. So I expect us to just exponentially grow. As far as what that looks like, I know that we kind of have some things in place just in case, because at some point we might realize we don't have the funding and what that would look like. I don't ever want to cross that bridge. I would love to help every child.
Right. So I think that the biggest goal or vision is in the upcoming years. I think Kelly said it many times, and we never want to be able to turn down a child that is in need and of course qualifies, and we've gone through the pre-checks. But I mean, that's the vision, is that, where there's that help, that we never have to turn that, that child away or that family away. Yeah. And so, we mitigated that with our own, resources up front. And then we've been very thankful that a lot of our family and friends and word of mouth have been supportive, so that we could be in a good position to support those. Yeah.
I'm assuming
expect is how much traction has gotten. We've got a lot.
A lot. Yeah. How much?
Substantially per month, which is great.
I think we've.
So we never want to turn down a kid. I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
And I think I think we're up to 32 states. Maybe I'd have to look, but so it's not just, we are in Colorado. Yeah. But like we said, we take donations from all across the U.S. Like Tony said, it's a lot of family and friends. And so I just didn't feel right, asking people to support us and then only helping Colorado. So I do think that is kind of crazy to see it spread. Like I told them, we just got Delaware, random things. Holy moly, it's definitely the word of mouth gets out there. And I would say one of the other things that I think I pride myself on with Operation Birthday is that we do have a really strong like feedback loop is what I call it. And so that is something else that does go into every kit. We do ask for their feedback. We make it really easy. There's a card with a QR code, just because if we are missing the mark, like we do want to know. And it's kind of that concept of just gut checking, right? Like I can think that I'm fulfilling the mission and the need, but it's good to get that feedback and make sure that we actually are doing what we're setting out to do. And I think that's also an awesome thing for any of our donors, that we are doing that gut check and we really are trying to make sure that we're doing the most that we can and not just most efficiently and all that stuff, but that we're actually meeting the need that we tell people that we're going to meet. So,
yeah. Wow. Have you been able to break down the costs as of recently, how much it is per kid roughly?
Yeah, I mean, that was, that was in my business plan from the start before we opened this up. So we say on average, each kit is about $100.
Gotcha. That includes the gifts, the goodies, the desserts, etc.
The sprinkles,
shipping.
Shipping.
Yep.
The personalized presents. And that's why I'm highlighting how, I guess diligent and effective Cal's been with like finding the right gift at the right time. Or, she's also looked at themes like, oh, Paw Patrol's a big theme. I'm going to make sure that I can, monitor that and go to these standard stores and look online all day, all night and find those gifts when they're at the proper price.
Yeah.
And then stock those specifically in my office so that I can and then when the kids are needed.
It's a good background though for your work calls.
Oh yeah. I've explained myself many times. But it's important. And like from a donor or, doing investments on my own and stuff, like it makes you feel good to know that people are being very, diligent with funds being donated and trying every way to not only have all those costs go towards the kids, but, make sure that dollar goes as far as possible in hopes of, making the child's, birthday special.
I always say, if you want to do another podcast, I can go on about clearance shopping. It's actually really bad. I call my friends and I'm embarrassed. Like, I go out to happy hours and I just tell them about like all the crazy deals I got, and I can just see their faces and they're like, I didn't come out to talk to you about this. We say like, it's crazy the clearance stores you can find. And I mean, we're talking at like 75% off. And
extreme couponing. That was a TV show, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's crazy though, because I'll literally put that same toy like back on the shelf, like 2 weeks later. So it's not like I'm buying like toys that the boxes are broken or anything like that. Like, it's just crazy to me. And even how he was saying with the themes, like I remember at one point, Minnie Mouse, like the plates, napkins, all that stuff. I think Walmart decided they weren't going to run it anymore. And so I was getting those at like 20 cents or 30 cents an item. And I bought everything they had left because I was like, Minnie Mouse isn't going anywhere. Like, that's one of those themes that's not just a fad. Like, we do so many Minnie Mouse kits. So yeah, we have, it's something I'm actually trying to slow down a little bit on is
when you do the forms, when you ask for themes, are there like for example, Paw Patrol, Minnie Mouse, that way you're like sparking ideas, and if the people are like, oh yeah, my kid loves Minnie Mouse, perfect.
So that was one of the changes that we made, the tweaks. In the beginning, we would just kind of like have it be a free form box. And what I was finding is that's where, like I said, I would get requests, and it not only could I not find it, I felt like it was taking away from the birthday kit because it would be like $30 or $40, like something like really expensive. And so I was just like, I really don't recommend that theme because if I spend it here, then I can't spend it over here. Right. And so we have a drop down list of all the most popular, not just the most popular, it's things that I actually have in the house. So I can make sure that if someone selects it, we actually can fulfill it.
Totally.
And I do think that helps because to your point, I feel like a lot of times the kid likes multiple things. And so if we kind of have a drop down list, you kind of are funneling into all those items that not only do we have, but it's also in the more like affordable range because it's not something that's just so unique that like you can't find it.
Wow. Well, this is amazing. So if people that are listening are interested and want to get involved, what type of involvement or engagement do you look for? Obviously donations, $100 makes a kid's birthday, literally. What other types of engagement are you looking for?
So I always start with the one that's free, and that's share the love. That's what we keep saying. Just telling anyone and everyone about us, your family, your friends, your coworkers. Our reach only goes as far as our social media. I'm aware of that. And so that's one of our biggest things. Like, it's free to post about it, to tell people about it, ask them to follow us. And then that way, when we do really cool events, like we have one coming up, we actually can reach out to that network and let them know what's going on. We do have a few other events throughout the year. So just donations, we will always have a donate button on our website. And we definitely appreciate those. We also are going to be in LA. We have Law Rocks. So it's another nonprofit that's supporting us. It's like a battle of the bands. And so part of that is the actual talent, and part of it's like a donation, and it's kind of like they battle it out for like a nonprofit. So we have that information on our website, and that's in March. And then we also do a virtual 5K every year. So we're in the process of getting that information updated. As it's now 2023. But if someone really just wanted to support us that way, the virtual 5K is a great way to be healthy while giving back. And then I'd say lastly, this is my favorite. If people are on Facebook, for your birthday, you can do a birthday fundraiser. It's free on Facebook. And so that's what I say is, why not do a birthday fundraiser that gives an opportunity for kids to have a birthday, right? So that's actually one of my favorites. Is I've had a lot of people, when it is their birthday, they'll actually ask for that. Like, hey, it's my birthday and I would love to help a kid have a birthday. So those are like my top.
Right. I think, I mean, it's like, it's the theme of birthday. So, even with businesses, we've had, companies go, hey, it's our anniversary or our birthday. And then it's great. It's great for their brand, but also really appreciative for all the kids in need and the families and providing them with that special moment. But they'll have like, hey, it's my 7th year anniversary. And since it's our birthday, we want to support Operation Birthday. And they'll do stuff where it's like whatever purchases or, some kind of, engagement or donation or whatever. But we found a lot of great success with that along the way as well.
And we do have an Amazon wish list, and we have a Walmart wish list. So that, because usually typically with those, it's like if you spend, a certain amount, you can get free shipping. So I do know, like with Walmart, with like frosting and cake mix and candles and cupcake wrappers and things like that, like batteries. So we do have wish lists, and those are out on our website as well. And then the only last piece is if you have any small, younger kids, one of the cool things that I think we do, volunteering was really important to us, and we talked about it. And when Shelby Ann was so little, you really can't take them to volunteer anywhere. And I understand why, but it was just this really hard solution to find anywhere that I could get her involved in volunteering. And so one of the things that we launched with Operation Birthday is that kids can actually color homemade birthday cards and send them to us. And then basically we include that homemade birthday card in each birthday kit. So it really is like an age appropriate way that kids can just volunteer and give back and think of other kids in a manner that's appropriate, definitely more appropriate for their age.
Right. Wow. We've had children like 3-4 years old have birthday parties, and they're like, instead of providing us gifts, donate items to Operation Birthday. We would like to do that, in some kind of way there, so that it's themed with birthday, anniversary of a company, or in this case, what Kelly just highlighted. So.
Wow, what you do is amazing. We're honored to share this story, and people that are listening, $100 could go a long way. Donating items could go a long way. Getting involved can make kids' birthdays and their dreams and their wishes of their birthdays come true. So really appreciate your time. Before we close, I usually ask my guests, is there anything that maybe we missed or anything that you want to leave us with before we wrap it up here?
I think you've asked some amazing questions. I also want to say what you do is amazing, because we were super excited. We don't ever get these opportunities to, have somebody help us and further that mission. And the fact that you're doing that across a lot of different philanthropic initiatives and helping people with their causes and initiatives is incredible. And we're just really thankful to have the time today and to, be able to be here with you and be on your platform. So thank you.
Yeah, no, of course. Kelly, anything final?
I agree with it. I won't talk about clearance toys, but I will just say, we have a website, so it's operationbirthday.org. Yep. And then on there, you'll get all the links to our social media. So we are on Insta, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And then, like I said, any of that other information around the volunteering, around the 5K, even the event in LA, all that will be out on our website. So I'd say that's the only other just little tidbit of information.
Yeah. Of course. Well, we will share all of those as well once we post this episode on our social media sites and whatnot, and we'll make sure to tag you and include all of your information so people could reach out if they're interested and want to get engaged, which I'm sure they will be. Thank you both so much for your time today. Really appreciate it, and we're excited to share this amazing work that you all are doing.
We're excited too. Thank you again. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks. Thanks for tuning into this episode. If you know of a great organization or individual leaving a positive impact, we'd love to tell their story. Check us out and contact us at gtzp.org. Don't forget, for more stories like this, you could also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Instagram followers are link trees in the bio. And for podcast listeners, we're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thanks for listening, and see you again soon.